Happy birthday, PulseChain. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Today's Monday. You know what that means? It means we're back to streaming. It means it's party time. That means that today, or relatively today at least, PulseChain launched and all of our dreams came true for the first 35 days or so. Oh, amazing times. I've been here for a while. And also, Snapshot was like a day and a half or 2 days ago, which is pretty cool too. Remember when snapshots were important and all the ratio trading? Remember when all that was like the talk of the town, which I mean, it still is in a lot of ways with when you're looking at charts and liquidity and all this stuff too. There's some interesting things around that, looking at the Pulse price versus USD and looking at PulseX versus Pulse and all kinds of fun stuff there. But anyways, first of all, before I bring our astute panel in, happy birthday, maddest of gains to each and every one of you out there, sticking with it, thick or thin. Or if you're not, we hope you come back and make this pump this party up with us. That should be a lot of fun. Anyways, without further ado, hopefully SJ will join us in a minute. Welcome back to the show. Is this Bulls only? Are we back from Friday's stream? Here we go. Fast Abdul and Briz.
Happy birthday.
Happy fucking birthday, bro. Fast, you're on mute.
Happy name day, PulseChain.
Happy birthing blockchain day.
I remember when PulseChain was only one block big.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're looking at the block level there. I like it. That's true. We can look at that. There are blocks. You can see the blocks go across the screen. Actually, we pull up. Let's see. I haven't looked at it on Lightbeam yet. Let me look at it on Lightbeam. It's one of my new favorite sites. Pretty cool. I'm gonna pull it up. Fast. Are you gonna say happy birthday?
I was gonna say happy birthday. Happy birthday, PulseChain.
Please clap.
Woohoo!
Clap.
Shout out to what was that, Jeb Bush back in the day?
Yep.
Here we go. Oh, Jeb. Simpler times, weren't they? Blockchain blocks. There we go. It's pretty cool. You can see it. You can see how much PLS is being burned each and every block. Does your blockchain have this, or does it have beautiful displays like this? At least, I don't know. Theirs does. Not like it a lot. Average 10-second blocks. Chain growth 3 million blocks per year. Looks like I have a lot of data on that. We've got a little bit. Last block 23,451,145. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Wonderful.
So at the block level. Gents, 2 years in. Again, this is we game planned in the game room in the green room. You got to pretend you're happy. You got to pretend that you're bullish. You got to pretend that your dreams are going to come true at any moment. Act as if it's your birthday. With that being in mind, don't do any of that. Give me your honest assessment. Is PulseChain a failure as of now? Whoever wants to take it.
It's still working. Price performance. I don't think price dictates whether something has failed or not. Now, it does suck when you invest money into something and then it goes down 80%. But, those are, that's just what happens. That's the way the cookie crumbles, 80 to 90% dips are in the game. And you don't get unimaginably wealthy unless you have a lot of volatility.
Yeah, asymmetric upside. There is a, you want this is that highest performing asset class ever. Volatility is a bug, not a feature. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at this, other than, oh man, when I put money in, it was down for a while, and I wonder if it'll ever do that 10,000x again. By the way, if you didn't sack and you're buying, if you've been, and I thought about this the other day actually. I take walks sometimes. I have thoughts from time to time, and every once in a while, I share them with you all. One of them, which was, if you've you sacked $1,000, whatever. I haven't did the math on this, but I did the math on the hex, about a hex of 40 cents. If you bought it under a penny, it came up to like the same amount, comes up to like 2 cents or something like that. I imagine there's some math around PulseChain sack too. If you sacked $1,000 and then you bought the same amount at, one PulseX, for example, was down to like, it was 80% down or something like that. From sack, PulseChain was down like, I don't know, 60, 70% at one time. Hit all-time low, just a few weeks ago. It feels like it was yesterday. It doesn't feel like it's yesterday actually, because everything's been green, super green lately. But You're able to do some math and see your DCA price would be a lot better than the SAC rate. And if it does multiples from that, then what's the problem? Like, I think the problem literally is if you are disappointed in PulseChain right now, you don't think you're going to get X's you got, or you may have already wrecked yourself. You've already got out. You don't have the aligned interest. You don't have the incentive. You don't have the skin in the game anymore. And, you just want to air your grievances. So there's some definitely positive ways to frame this and logical ways to frame this. And there's just this red candle way of framing it. And I think the former two are much, much easier to look at.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to be bearish, because the more bearish you are, you're just kind of turning away other potential investors. And so even if things, don't look so bright and shiny, it's in everyone's best interest to just talk positively, to get more investors involved, and then that will lift the tide that lifts all boats.
Agreed. Yeah, positivity is the word of the day for PulseChain. Like, if if you're getting in just now, it's actually a huge win versus people who got in earlier. So, but if you did get in before and you're still here now, then like there's zero to be gained by being negative.
Yeah, if you sacked and you put a lot of money in, and now you're here and you see new people that you may onboard who are like, oh, I don't have anything that's, this chain looks fantastic. What's wrong with this? I don't have any money to watch, go down and have to wait a while on. And they put new money in. Yeah, I mean, life's not fair, but at the same time, again, that's why I hope everyone who has money to put in, who has, stuff, and they decide to make that decision, I hope they get super, super rewarded, because it's kind of like everyone else looking in. The more people we onboard, they could be getting a terrific deal. And again, if you have dry powder and you end up doing that, I hope you get a terrific deal as well and get your DCA price down and get all the X's. But it is, I don't know, like, it's one of those weird things. It's like, I don't get it. I don't know how you could fudge yourself into not onboarding people. So another thing I want to cover, this comes up from time to time, is the echo chamber. And you guys may have different opinions on this as well. I'm actually curious to see, but I keep hearing the echo chamber piece. I keep hearing that, we need to go out, we need to do more things. To me, I don't know, that always strikes me as like watering down the content, a lot of it. There's some ways to do it that are interesting and effective. And there's a lot of ways they're just like, I'm not going to be a generic crypto channel, because I want to speak to the community. I want to, when we onboard new people, I want them to have a place to come to get good information and to see all the new things happening, and to really show them like how amazing the community is. And hopefully they'll take that and they'll onboard more people and they'll be happy with it and they'll make money and all these things. But like calling like PulseChain and creators and all the stuff we do about it like an echo chamber, first of all, I don't even think it's that accurate. I think some of it's obviously accurate and there's something to it, but it's not really actionable. And it's really just comes off as, oh, I need to do things that aren't Hex related. I need to do things that aren't PulseChain related. And to me, it's just, I just like, I won't go through every single point, but I think the first one, every crypto that isn't listed in top 50 market cap probably fits some sort of definition of its community being an echo chamber. Like, strong communities mean you talk about the coin, you talk about how amazing they are, and hopefully you talk about it in such a positive way that other people see that and like, oh, I like that. I like what they're saying. I think I want to hear more. I think I want to join. I want to have skin in the game. So I'm incentivized to go, watch content or make my own and otherwise. So even if it were true, let's just say it's true, I just don't think it matters that much, unless you think that, again, all of crypto is going to fail and never have their day in the sun and never get the X's. And because of having such a like bright and, community that goes out and puts in the work and gets PulseChain's name out there, I just don't think it's that interesting of an argument to make in the first place. So anyways, I'll pause there. What do you guys got on that echo chamber PulseChain?
It's only true until it's not true, right? So even if it was an echo chamber, once it starts getting adoption, you'll be very happy that you were in the echo chamber early on. So like you said, there any small crypto like under the top 50 is going to be somewhat of an echo chamber until they're not, and at which point, it's rocket ship time. So I think this one has the best community of anywhere in crypto. So why would I not join this echo chamber if that was my choice?
Well, let's take the other side before Brisket was in. I just want on this point. The other side is, let's imagine if PulseChain, there was no way you could ever point to it being an echo chamber. Let's say that nobody made PulseChain specific content. Nobody on Twitter was tagging PulseChain and saying these things. They were always tagging Ethereum. They were always tagging Solana. They only went to events that were other blockchain conference stuff. Nobody had any conferences for us. We were only kind of just like mixing around with the other communities. And we're always saying, oh yeah, we like PulseChain, we like Hex, but we don't want to seem like an echo chamber. We don't want to seem like we're maxis. We don't want to seem like, we're only into PulseChain and Hex. We want to be friendly with all of crypto. How compelling is that for onboarding people?
It's terrible. Yeah, no, we want like that. We need a strong community, and all those events and things are part of maintaining a strong community. So even if we are feeding the echo chamber by like hosting either events on YouTube or in-person events like the PLS 369 conference, like it's part of maintaining a strong community. And when people come over for the first time to our echo chamber, they're going to be like, whoa, these people are crazy. And that's what you want in crypto. So like us doing that, us having a huge YouTube and Twitter presence, like it's all positive.
Yeah. Cult following, like Sami talks about a lot too. I think it kind of reminds me of that. But anyway, go ahead, Bruce.
I don't think we're in an echo chamber at all, because I think, I don't know exactly how many people we actually have on the Pulse chain, just because you can't really do it by the number of wallets, because like I have a bunch of wallets myself, right? And so does everyone else. But we have so many people that are just like, so I think a fair number is probably between 30,000 to 50,000 users all across Pulse chain. And a lot of these people don't even like Hex. They don't even like Richard Hart, and we're getting people that were, flamboyantly hateful towards Hex and Hexicans and Richard Hart. And now they're inside Pulse chain. I'm talking about Tiger Crypto God. As like, he was kind of a hater, but now he's like, oh my God, look at Pulse chain, it's moving up. And you know what? I'm glad he was shown the light, and but with that said, like I said, I don't think we're in a echo chamber. We have a lot of people in the community, but at the same time, we have like almost nobody in the community. Like I really believe that Pulse chain has zero adoption so far. 50,000 out of 8 billion is literally nothing. So well, I think we're super early, and it might be an echo chamber now, but like I said, I don't think it is an echo chamber, to tell you the truth.
I just don't think it's a very interesting point. Like that's the part. It's like hearing it. It's just kind of like, what do you do? Like again, assume we are an echo chamber. What do you do? Do you just stop making content? Like there's no action but to keep making good stuff to onboard people. There's
exactly.
No action.
I totally agree with that. Like a lot of people say the Pulse chain conferences are just echo chambers. And maybe everyone that's watching it right now is probably in Pulse chain or Hex, but having these conferences, it's a tool to show people outside, like, hey, look at what we're doing over here, and then they can actually see some tangible stuff, and then they're like, all right, this is maybe something that I could get invested in.
Well, it's even a great marketing point of saying, you tell them, oh, have you ever heard of PulseChain? No, they just had like 3 conferences this summer. Like it's amazing. Like stuff like that is so. I think people underestimate the compounding effect of doing things ahead of time, making these efforts, again, making the content, and then now you got this beautiful book. Oh, look, you have all this onboard material. You have this compounding effect from people keep participating and lifting it up, and it's just so underrated. And so it's like people don't see that, and then they go off and like, no, we need to try other things. It's like, just try the same thing for a long period of time. I don't know, just keep doing that. Like, why is that not the winning move? Like, it's kind of like holding versus, oh, I'm tired of holding. I'm going to go try my luck and buy some other coins and then lose it. And then now you're down to 0 or close to it. And now you're like, if you would just held, historically speaking, you look at the charts, that's the winning strategy every single time, is to hold and then sell it when it's higher. It's crazy. But that's why we're here having these conversations, to help enlighten the people of other ways of thinking about things, that they may be missing something. So, like this birthday stream, am I just talking to you and Briz right now fast? Are there not people in the chat seeing this, on Twitter seeing this? Do they not see the crypto market looking bullish and the up emojis? Like, is the content we have from this, is it not going to be clipped into things that can be shared further on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, wherever else? That doesn't even need to have specific PulseChain titles. Like, yeah, the algorithm, like, it's going to feed people to places that are popular, that have viewers, that have content. Like, do not underestimate the power of just putting in the work and doing it, and just like, not like, oh, nothing else is working, we're an echo chamber. Like, that's not the conclusion I get to.
It's kind of like the Lindy effect, right? The longer we're here, the more the longer we will probably survive.
Yeah. Hex is almost 6 years old now. PulseChain's 2. We ain't going away. We're going up. I mean, that's what I believe, and I think everyone else believes too. Not financial advice, but as a community, at least we're going up. We're getting bigger and stronger and more powerful. Just the power of just sticking with it. It can solve so many problems.
I feel like cryptocurrencies could probably learn a lot from like the auto industry, and how they kind of like, they just keep stuff going, and they're always reinventing themselves. And so I don't know. I feel like cryptos, if we want to really branch out and be successful, we'll have some kind of like Indy 500 for cryptos. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think, and this isn't to discourage anyone from going out there and like doing cross community stuff, or like events that are not PulseChain related and all that stuff too, or doing whatever sports stuff, or sponsorships, blah blah blah, like that. There's all kinds of opportunities to do that. But to think that's the answer of like why we're not growing, I think there's way more compelling answers. Macro environment, Richard being muzzled, blah blah blah. They're way more compelling than like, oh, it's just us because we're making too much content.
That's reverse thinking. It doesn't make any sense that we're making too much content, therefore we're holding ourselves back. The opposite is true. And I think some of this content is probably going to be viewed years and years from now by people who have jumped into PulseChain after it's popular. So it's the value of this stuff is compelling, and will move into the future. Like these streams will be watched 2 years from now.
Yeah. What is good?
I would also warn about who you're getting your criticisms from, because not all criticism is equal. A lot of people are just kind of jerks, and they want to criticize a lot of people are just naturally negative.
Yeah, it's way more. What was the Naval quote? You'll be way happier and way more productive being positive, like being optimistic. Like it just I don't know, it feels like common sense in a lot of ways. Speaking of lots of X's, maybe even 10,000. We'll see. I did this poll and got a lot of results, a lot of views. Look at the views of people. It didn't even have Hex or PulseChain in the title. Didn't even have it there. However, people participated, and I don't think they're all my followers either. I would bet they're not all my followers. Which one retires you in this crypto bull run? 1 million Hex, 100 million PLS, 100 million PLSX, and 3,000 Inc. Shout out to the Inc token, by the way. New content on that as well. Looks like a lot of people, again, whether you think it's PHEX or EHEX or otherwise, 41%, over 70% of the poll.
I'm sorry. No, oh, he froze.
He did. Yeah,
I thought he was asking a question. I'm like, what?
It looks like Hex is the clear winner, though. I think it probably depends on your timeline. Like, I feel like Ink's gonna pop off first. but I could be wrong.
And we're back. There you go. Yeah. What do you all think?
I think personally, I'm in favor of ink for the millionaire maker. It's got the lowest liquidity. It can go up the fastest. Though PulseX has a compelling story as well, and you can't transact without Pulse on the Pulse chain. So all four are strong assets.
You were in the minority, sir, on the ink token. Why is that? Why do you think people don't? They think the other ones will do better, or at least for them. You think they just don't have ink as much ink as they have the other ones?
Bag biased.
Also, with ink is kind of a different story from the others, in my opinion, because the only way you get ink is by farming it, and if the price goes up, like if it just keeps going up and up, the amount of money that you can receive from farming would just be very incredible. I mean, if ink were to go to like $200 or $300, which is kind of considered the low end, the APRs in the farms right now would be like probably over 1,000% a year. And so and then it becomes like a dump token for the most part. And so I think ink has this very has to find the equilibrium between APR and price.
And so, unless there's like a hidden utility for ink, right? So I've looked at the code, and it could be made into something like a DAO token, for example, or like what if, this is just off the cuff, but what if Richard Hart does a sacrifice for a wallet and you have to use ink to sacrifice? There's no other option. Like things like that, right? Where ink could be given additional utility and not just be a farming token. And it certainly is possible that it could. In the code itself, it is made to be a DAO token.
And I also want to throw in a stipulation about the price of ink. It could still go very, very high. And the way to keep those APRs down is by reducing the inflation even more. So it's at 0.03 now. It could be at 0.003. And then the price could easily hit $300 and have, say, like a 25% APR.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was going to bring that up of, what if, even if the APRs do go up, they can still be, adjusted back down, inflation go down again. Does that make price go up and not make it? It's almost an interesting angle. Is the point to not make it, or do you think, I don't know. I've been listening to Richard Spaces like, 2.5, 3 years ago recently as well. And he's talking about the ink again, duct taped on token, don't care about it, care about the least, all that stuff. That was back then. Now I wonder, having seen it through, 2 years of market, seeing how many people like in the ecosystem, what kind of effect it can have as being part of the core coins, all that too. I wonder if it will be, if a strategy could be to be like, we're going to make this thing super valuable. We're going to make it super rare. And it's going to be part of that price explosion that we may see on PulseChain. Ink just being adjusted down. Hey, you want to farm? You can farm. But this token's not going to be, if you dump it, you may not be able to get that much back. Kind of like Hex is with inflation too. You dump it, you're going to get it back. It ain't paying out that much, not as much as it used to be.
With Richard was picking one to pump. If he picked ink at some point in time, it would, create huge amounts of liquidity because people would flood into the farms to get that ink token that was valuable. And then if it kept going up consistently, then they might not sell it. They might hold it for the price pump. So, I know that's a very simple type of utility, but the utility of this billionaire guy buys it sometimes is probably very practical.
Also, because there's only 55 million ink currently, and at the current inflation rate, there's only going to be about 900,000, and I think basically 950,000 ink produced per year at the current rates. I think we could really see a multiple $1,000 ink in the future. I mean, like I said, it's only it's twice as many units as Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's at 100,000. Anything could happen.
It is pretty. I mean, honestly, if I saw $1,000 ink, yeah, okay. I would not be. I would not be like shocked. Like, oh, whoa, this is way too high. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Other thing on the government. Cool. Let me go celebrate PulseChain birthday number 3 coming this summer. That'd be nice. So on the governance part though too, I think that's something that early on when we saw the code, the Master Chef code, I believe, that I think there is a comment about how this could be turned into a DAO. However, I believe that was just a comment from the previous devs when it got forked over. So it wasn't necessarily a PulseChain dev comment. It was a, hey, in general, this thing has this capability. It was copied over. Fueled a lot of speculation. Still not impossible, could happen today. I just don't think it was like that wasn't like it looked like an Easter egg, but it sort of turned out to be like, okay, I think that was the same thing in the other contract as well. However, the capability to be so still could be. And I don't know, the case for it not being turned into some sort of utility is kind of hard to make. Like, why wouldn't it there? I don't know. You could go back to Richard saying it doesn't need to do anything because price goes up. But you could also be like, well, why not? If you're going to tie in this vertical ecosystem that does all these things, why not, PulseX single-side staking? Why not Inc governance token? Why couldn't these things, why wouldn't they have some sort of utility or some sort of be used for something, whether it's a ton of community projects building on them or the official devs using them for something? I think it's a hard case to make it won't be too.
PulseX has the buy and burn. Inc could have something else, single-sided staking, DAO functions, it just fits in as like the next piece in the ecosystem.
Yeah. Not saying it will happen, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, why? There's a great why not case there too.
I could see like a single-sided staking for PulseX, and then you would earn Inc with it, and then that could actually be, maybe cut 50% again from the farms, and then the other 50 goes to the single-sided staking. I think that would be kind of cool.
If Inc at $1,000, who's not going bananas over the PulseX farms? Like, how does that not make farming great again? Like, that's going to be nuts. And again, you could turn it down, make Inc even scarcer. What if price goes up again? Make Inc even scarcer. Like, why can't these levers be turned? When the god of candles come.
I was having
show us baby Briss. Okay.
Speaking of Inc, I was having a little bit of fun with AI, and I saw Michael Saylor do some baby versions of himself. And so I kind of looked into it to see how it's done, and I got this. So here we go. Can you hear it?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
So I'm here to talk about Inc.
We can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
You can do the voiceover though. Again.
How do I add sound?
You gotta reshare it and click the share audio button. Unless you were just talking on there and I didn't recognize it.
All right, let me reshare it.
And then click.
Wow, Miss Jay joins us. She's appeared.
Miss Jay.
I thought I had all the time in the world,
welcome.
And then I realized it's not 2 o'clock in New York. No.
I know. Yeah, I thought that.
Hey,
I was like, oh, she got the time
Jay.
mixed up. That's okay. You're just in time for baby Briz.
Oh, baby Briss.
All right, we're ready? All right, let's try it again. And so here we go. So I'm here to talk about Inc. Inc. What is it? I love this. I love this coin. I think it's great. I think it has one of the best logos. It's so green. I mean, look.
So green. So green.
So green.
It kind of looks like you too. It kind of looks like you. Did you use a baby photo, a real baby photo of yourself to do it?
I just took a screenshot and then I said, "Turn me into a baby."
That's funny. That's funny. I like it.
But I did take the audio from that clip, and then it just moved the words, the lips to the words.
Is that called lip sync?
Yes, sir.
Am I muted? Okay. I was like, I switched screens for a second. I could be muted. Just nobody cares about those.
I know I'm a little late to the party, but happy birthday, PulseChain!
Happy birthday,
PulseChain! Yeah, you missed the prep talk. The prep talk was pretend it's your birthday, be very, very happy and extremely bullish. So there you go.
Good. I've been doing that for the last 4 years. So
You're well practiced. Look at those horns. Those are some bull horns. Let's go.
we were speaking about being positive and not being negative, and that's why I really like SJ. She's our positivity princess, and I think she's
awesome.
doing great work out there.
Sometimes I get hard.
I think all of you are doing great work. I gotta say, like each and every one of you have been making contributions like left and right, either building or making baby videos with your voice on it, or
I want to do some other ones. I think it's a little bit complicated, but I think I could do ones with like babies having conversations with each other.
Can we get a baby Richard?
You know what? I'm gonna try.
The God Candle one. There's a lot of great quotes from that video. That'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah, all of you are making great contributions. Especially SJ just out there day and night making videos, making content. Scivive quotes are back, everyone. Scivive quotes are back.
Yeah. I kind of miss doing that. And then I just, as I'm doing them, every time I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. That's a good thing to remember to do, or to remember to, keep that in mind. So it's great all around content. And I'm going to get myself one of those fancy schmancy camera things that Richard talked about. The Osmo Pocket 3.
Oh yeah. I was looking at those on Amazon. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah. I found, hey, Costco's got the best deal, FYI.
They track you. So if you like move left and right.
Yeah, it'll be a lot nicer, because right now what I do is I usually use my phone and then I'm reading off my laptop the quote. So now it'll be a lot easier. I'll have the camera in one hand and then my phone with the quote on it in another hand, and that'll be a lot more. Go so many places.
Once we go from this gradual broke syndrome to the sudden wealth syndrome, people may be holding your camera for you. They may be people you just have an assistant.
Yeah, you can have a whole film crew.
Yeah. We need staff.
SJ got staff.
Oh man, way back on the first tour, when it was like a caravan for a little while. So it was me, DJ Pollywood, and some Hexagon. They both had their vans and I had the bus, and there was a small chunk of the tour where they followed me, and we were in, this wasn't where we caravan, but they both live in Florida, and I flew out there for one of the events, and we walked around to, fun story, Richard Hart's elementary, junior high, elementary and middle school, and maybe his high school as well, and filmed Scivive quotes. And they did that for me. One of them held the notes of like what I was going to say, and the other one filmed me. It was great. Those are some of my favorite little memories from the tour.
You've already been prepping for assistance. Look at that.
I have been practicing.
I like getting the reps in.
Yeah. No, those guys are, shout out to some Hexagon and DJ Pollywood. Miss you guys.
Well, shout out to whoever's buying Pulse, PulseX, and Hex as well, because Pulse Alert gave us his 55.55 ETH coming in to the PulseChain bridge. Nice. Someone big, it's bridging in, slowly buying Pulse, PulseX, and Hexes. Martin, I like it. And these don't look like coins from a person only in the ecosystem. So I wonder if all this content creation and marketing has been reaching people outside of our community by the fervor that they can't ignore. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Did you hear about the DeFi puzzle?
I heard about that.
Someone from outside the community cracked it, and they decided to keep the seeds words. They decided to keep the seed phrase a secret. So now someone else can donate to that seed wallet, and the game continues basically. But I thought it was really cool that someone from outside the community, who's in crypto DeFi, it seems, won and wanted the game to continue. That was I love that moment too, DJ Cryptomatic. That was so awesome. I was just I just dropped everything and ran to him. It's
I probably do the same when I see him.
You should.
I like DJ Cryptomatic.
It's a great hug too.
It seems awesome. Yeah.
So
we got a lot of stuff on the docket
inside
here.
that DeFi puzzle, there was like I think 20 Maddie coins. That person is a big winner.
Woo.
Don't spend them all in one place.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder what else. I know there's teddy bear in there, some other stuff. But yeah, it started out with just a bunch of hex, and then other people were like, "Oh, let's put stuff in here." So who knows? Who knows what'll be in there next time?
Great question here from Tipcatcher as well, which ties into this. One does not simply give up in the fourth year of the stock without the market hitting the euphoria stage. I tend to agree. What's everyone's end of year price target? I avoid predictions at all costs most of the time. However, what do you guys think?
I think
we're just going down from here. I keep hearing bears.
The shakeout.
The bears.
I think the shakeout is real. People really do give up in the fourth year. Like the shakeout is real.
It's very strange.
It's pretty crazy, actually. My end of, or I would say, okay, yeah, end of year prices, because I believe the bull market will hit before the end of the year. I think everything will do at least a 1000x. I think that's a conservative possibility. Just a 1000x across the board.
So 1000x actually did this moon math recently, posted about it. 1000x makes from hex on PulseChain right now makes it $8 hex, I believe.
All right, maybe not 1000x for hex.
Well,
I definitely do think hex could hit like $2 or $3.
And that's still a few. I mean, that's a few hundred X
I'm
at least.
bullish enough. Let's go.
Let's do $8.
I'm about it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, hex could do. I guess it's more when you think about doing 1000x from the bottom. I don't know what the bottom for PX was. Is it like 002? I want to say. I'm not even sure. 0015. Whatever it was, that would be $1.50 hex if it was 0015. I think. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. And then eHex, you get that as well, which Richard has mentioned may get a free ride up with liquidity and all that stuff too. So,
there should be some bonded liquidity that pulls up eHex, but unfortunately for eHex, I think the liquidity pools are going to be very thin. So when you go to try to cash out that $75,000 eHex bag, you're probably going to get like 35,000.
Only 35,000.
Maybe 35, maybe even less.
I'm not the best with numbers and things, but for PulseX, I want to say that it's going to outperform every other DEX's first cycle. Bam.
I like it.
Fast, are you bullish on the PulseChain?
I am definitively bullish on the PulseChain. I'm building on the PulseChain. I've built on the PulseChain, and I think it's the place to be, mostly because of community, but like the math of what it would take to pump these core assets to brand new heights is not that crazy. So I really do think that we're going to see all-time highs for all the core assets on PulseChain. We'll probably see eHex hit all-time highs too, but maybe not at the same rate. I don't know if we'll see that this year or not.
Is it safe to give you a yes on this poll based on that statement?
Let's go with yes. Yeah, I'm solid.
I guess they are tangentially related, but also I kind of just want to see the answer. Wow. If you believe yes, you would be joining 85.3% of the people who entered this poll who believe or want very, very much the PulseChain to go up. And it's been looking good lately. I mean, so let's talk about that for a minute too. Macros. It's feeling good. It's feeling good, right? Like, is it crazy? Is it obvious or crazy? Like what?
Oh no, it's definitely feeling good. I heard just today, China dropped its tariff, and the United States and China has come to a trade agreement. So I think this is going to be very bullish for the markets.
Stock market, I heard, is also up today. Are we not correlated anymore? I've heard some like Bitcoin not correlated. Are we decoupling? What are y'all? Any thoughts on macros on that?
Still pretty correlated. Like, there might be less correlation, but stock market, Bitcoin and Ethereum and PulseChain, like there are correlations to be sure. We all win together.
I'm looking at the prices right now, and it looks like everything is kind of in the red. PulseX is like 2.1% down. Ink is 5.2% down. And
that's
then
after a massive pump, though, right? Like,
yeah. And then I look
you have
over
a huge green day, you're gonna have a tiny red day. It's not that sad.
But I look over at Ethereum, and Ethereum is also down 2%. It's at 24.58. It was over at 2,600 not that long ago. So I think we're very correlated with the rest of the market.
Totally. PulseChain should be leverage on Ethereum, to me, not financial advice, but that's kind of how I see it. So like, if you see like Ethereum down 2%, like probably you should see PulseChain down 5%. And if that's not the case, we're probably winning.
I like winning.
winning good. This is something too. I wanted to ask SJ about as well, because she maybe have experience with this too. Post this every once in a while. It's good to get a lot of great answers in here. Ones that don't include "Send Me Your Cash" by Crypto Sloth. Not shout out to him. However, how can I buy PulseChain with? It's actually a pretty funny thread if y'all go through it. It's been a lot of time thinking of some interesting things to say back and forth with him. So we don't have to go through right now, but it's pretty funny. I recommend it. How can I buy PulseChain with my bank account? Y'all have experiences doing that? I know that we'll go through a few answers in the comments as well, but what are the best ways for people to buy the PulseChain with their debit card, all that stuff? Y'all have experiences?
I have used OX Coast. Is OX Coast like the actual official way to say it? Do we know?
Yeah, OX Coast.
0x.
I say 0x.
I mean, it is a zero technically. I'm Grammarly like that. So I have used it. Not a whole lot, not extensively, but I've also onboarded using 0x Coast, and I like it. I think it's pretty simple. It's nice that they support us, So whereas I remember back, years ago when I first got in, I had to go to my bank, I had to request the funds, I had to do this in person. I had a credit union. I don't know if maybe it was a credit union thing or whatever, but I had to go sign a piece of paper telling them, this is before I kind of knew, the way things work and how to figure it out. But yeah, they were like, what's going on with this money? Like, what is Coinbase and, what is happening here? But none of that with 0x Coast. Very seamless. Does not take a long time. And I have now I have my own debit card with Old Glory Bank. And I think they're fantastic. It's a great combination. Shout out to Stoic and the whole team for getting stuff done.
I got a debit card from them too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're a great bank. I like what their principles and what they stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Being Canadian, I haven't used them as much, though I understand they do offer some support in Canada now. But the bottom line for PulseChain is if you can get to Ethereum, you can get on PulseChain. So any way that you have where you can get onto Ethereum, you can buy ETH, buy whatever you want and bridge it to PulseChain, because the bridge will move any asset. As long as that asset's liquid on PulseChain, you'll be in good shape. So USDC, DAI, USDT, Ethereum, EHEX, Pulse itself, you can buy on Ethereum and bridge it over. There's lots of ways to do it. And since the RH bridge has no fee going that direction and only a small fee coming out, it's not a crazy way to do it. There is change now and things like that. But if you're moving volume, more than $1,000 or $2,000, I like using the Richard Hart bridge directly.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult to buy on USDC on Coinbase, move it to your MetaMask wallet, and then send it through the bridge. And now you just trade it for whatever you want.
Yep. I think once we have more centralized exchange listings, we'll probably see tools like Change Now or PortalX by the Power City team be more useful, because they'll likely route through those centralized exchanges, and we'll have higher limits where you could use, get like instantly swap cross chain to PulseChain. But they need some sort of large reservoir to do so, which is where I think the centralized exchange listings will come in.
Get them. I hope everyone who gets money into PulseChain makes a lot more of money.
Mad gains.
Maddest
of gains.
The maddest of gains, like, for example, I've been seeing a lot of people bull posting. If Ethereum hit 6K and 50% of the stack was rotated in, Pampy app here, they even got a sell pressure thing, I believe, as well. That's a lot of X's. Again, fun moon math, don't take it seriously, but boy, I see some thousands of X's unless I'm seeing this incorrectly. That's a lot. $110 hex. Yes. That might be a wick. That might be.
That might be a wick.
That might be a wick.
Hey, I had a dream like a year and a half or 2 years ago that hex wicked to $10,000. I remember dreaming. I woke up and was like, "What? Yes."
Which one's more historic? That hex did that, or somebody purchased, like the hex that was purchased for $10,000 per hex? That's got to go to a museum or something. Like that's epic in some way. Like whoever bought that $10,000 for one hex coin, they
Wait, that didn't really happen.
Also, go ahead. No, I'm saying like if it happened, like that's who knows
when it happens, Max. When it happens,
that's a pretty bad call if you're buying $10,000 hex.
Ooh,
I mean, because you got to go, hey, it's going to go to 20 grand just to get it
going to 20.
X.
If you think it's going to 20, Chris, these are just numbers. We can change them in and out.
That's right.
It's like, who's going to buy a dollar hex? People who believe it's going to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, right? So it's you just added some.
It's only the top until it's not the top, right? So like, what's the top for hex this cycle? It might not be the top for hex next cycle.
Yeah.
We could definitely see a $10,000 hex. The math supports it.
So I have a question from your experience, because I think you all have been here a lot longer than I have in the crypto space. Do you see, and I don't know how to put this because obviously we hold assets that are better than everything else. Has there been examples of cryptos that every cycle set higher highs and higher lows? Like, is that actually a thing? And do you think that'll happen with our coins?
I think Bitcoin, right? It's always every 4 years, it's always done a blow off top. In 2013, it hit $1,200. 2017, it hit $17,000. 2021, it hit $69,000, and now it's over $100,000.
Yeah, Ethereum looks pretty good cycle to cycle too. If you could have bought $10 Ethereum in the past, you'd be a winner now. Though this cycle, it hasn't shown us that new top yet.
Got you.
I believe Dogecoin also performed admirably well cycle to cycle.
Doge.
Oh, I could be wrong.
So, dreams do come true every once in a while.
That's right.
Quick question on liquidity too. This is something I've put out there that I don't know. It always every doubter of this ecosystem either have the same type of sentiment or same type of like nothing good can happen. When I see the liquidity go down, and there's all these reasons that back up why that could totally be super bullish for price. All the pieces that have come together the last few weeks and stuff, all that. Again, if liquidity goes down and the price goes up, and again, that some of the assets for liquidity could inflate over that, and liquidity could go up with that as well as far as dollar value stuff goes. I'm talking more about like stable coins and ETH and like stuff that is the value of the chain and stuff like that. Price goes up, and then liquidity. It's kind of one of those things I think people get in this trap of, okay, liquidity's down. Even if the price goes up, I won't be able to get out of it because Brice talked about $35,000 and stuff earlier too. this cycle for PulseChain, if we get down to, I mean, I don't know, what are we at? We're like 72K, around 70,000 liquidity on PulseChain, somewhere around there right now.
70,000?
I think so. What was it? Was I looking at Lightbeam on?
No, it was way more than 70,000.
That sounds a little low.
70. Yeah, total ecosystem liquidity 70 or I said
Million.
Million, of course. Yeah, million. I was like, I just saw this number. Yeah, 17 million, of course. So if it goes down further, or if this is the bottom for liquidity, price goes up, and then liquidity, you know, the whole macro is going to change in the ecosystem as far as this stuff goes as well. Like once things, again, it's like the most bearish narratives don't see this as pretty amazing. Like what do you all think about that as far as like playing out with the ecosystem, liquidity, price, all that? Will everyone be able to cash? You know, not that everyone's going to, but will people be able to cash out significant sums as part of just the ecosystem growing, liquidity growing over time? And we'll still be able to get that huge uprise in the price because of the low liquidity and because of, you know, again, people buying the coins.
We have to remember that liquidity is down on purpose, right? Like Richard intentionally reduced the inflation in the ink farms so that people would pull from the farms, reducing liquidity. He understands, so obviously he would do so that the price could pump. Low liquidity means it could dump easier and pump easier. He wouldn't have done it if he didn't think there was a pump coming for some reason or another. And if we get that pump and we're at a new all-time high, and then he wants the liquidity to get higher, well, guess what? He has levers to do so. He can either increase the ink inflation to incentivize people to go back into the farms, or my favorite idea, increase the price of ink dramatically so that people are motivated to go back in the farms without increasing ink inflation. So it's very much a lever that he can pull, and I would suspect he'd pull the lever to increase liquidity once we have new all-time highs.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, it'll work.
I like it.
It'll be easy.
Yeah, he could, and you know, he can use the carrot of bringing in more liquidity by having a higher APR ink, right?
I think ink is going to play an interesting role in this. I think he's had plenty of time. The devs in general, I want to be, one of my favorite things in the world is to see the war room, the conversations that the team and them are having of like, all right, we're testing all these things, we're seeing how these things work, we're refining all these strategies. Again, you can believe they have a strategy, not believe they have a strategy, whatever. But like, I'm excited to see after, looking at what everything looks like liquidity and stuff wise. Billionaire genius founder guy. Seems like there's probably some interesting ideas that have came out of looking at the ecosystem over the last couple of years. And yes, so this is one. This is a pie chart from Dipcatcher in the chat. By the way, Dipcatcher, if you want to explain it a little bit more, that'd be great because I just clicked on it. And I'm not sure anyone else on the panel has seen it. Yes, no? Panel?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Ink is key to solving the liquidity mismatch, which is an interesting point as well. Any comments on this one? Again, I haven't. Is this a problem or a solution? It's talking about the user arm market cap and then the value on the bridge. Any commentary on this?
I think I remember a time when like 8 billion, like maybe 8 billion hex at one time was about to come due, and everyone was freaking out. They're like, oh my God, this is the end of hex. There's like 8 billion. This guy has 8 billion coming unlocked and like in a month or two, and he's just going to destroy the entire price. Everyone should sell now because, doom is here. And that's just kind of what this sounds like to me by saying like, oh, look at all this PHEX, $854 million of PHEX. I think it's just a red herring. I think it's a false narrative. I don't think Dipcatcher is a good actor. And quite frankly, I would just let everyone beware of FlexNet. If you like eHex, I probably wouldn't use FlexNet because my conspiracy theory is that Gold Key and Dipcatcher are probably going to be the only ones running the validator on their FlexNet. And so all EHEX spent in gas fees will probably go directly to them. And then they will be a forever drain on EHEX as long as people keep using FlexNet. So I would just be cautious of anyone using Dipcatcher's protocols. He does not seem like a good actor anymore. He's burnt up all of his reputational points.
I'll defend him on he's done good in the past.
Yeah.
So we have the
I'm glad, again, everyone had their opinion too. I just want to say I do disagree with a lot of that. I appreciate him building on Hex and Ethereum, and who knows if the project's going to work out or not. But I know Brice has a strong opinion. That's okay too. But go ahead, Fast.
Like I said, he's done good in the past with the Maximus DAO tokens, which are present on both chains. I don't like the current attack advertising format for his promotion of FlexNet, but the concept's not terrible. It's interesting. As far as the details go of the actual value or benefit, I can't comment because I haven't done that deep a dive yet. But it is not boring tech. But like, there's no reason to attack PulseChain. Just build good things, man.
Some interesting marketing. I will say that as well. But to this one, the user. So on this, if the bridge, for example, had like 2 billion, if like in a case where we get into an environment where the bridge is just like popping, we get 20x liquidity, all this stuff. A lot of it would that address like what would address some of the sell pressure that could be in this area? It's just more money in the ecosystem, more on the bridge. I feel like that's maybe pointing something interesting.
We have a giant bag of money hanging over PulseChain with hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly billions of dollars later in the year. That's going to be able to absorb a lot of sell pressure. I wouldn't worry about it. I just wouldn't worry about it.
Nice. All right. Had another.
I finally got Hexander. I freaking got him. I knew it would happen one day.
Indeed.
Trying to look up this one. Oh, I do want to show the staking. I think that is pretty amazing. 5555555 hex stake for 5555 days. 400 t-shirts. People still staking tons of hex.
Heck yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yes, indeed. I was really excited a little while ago. I had one of my, I've been accumulating, and I accumulated enough to have one of the hex alerts go off on my stake. Like, hell yes.
Woohoo.
Hell yes. I did
Nice.
that. I did that. It's so fun.
You made the minimum quantity. Nice.
I did. I pretty much, that's exactly what it was. But I did it, it's a far cry from where I was, 3.5, 4 years ago. So I'm really, in fact, this is near my hexaversary, if not very close to it, because I got in May of 21. Wow, 4 years. It's been 4 years. Woo, that's crazy.
It's been like 7 years for me.
Yeah.
I was in 2 years before Hex even launched.
Yeah.
Hex took forever to launch too. We're like, launch Hex, Richard.
Yeah. So, how long before it launched was he talking about it? A couple years?
I think maybe like 1.5 years.
Okay.
Maybe 2 years.
You're talking about before Richard talking about Hex or not? Oh, Hex. Okay, I think you're talking about PulseChain. There's a whole video of him saying 2 more weeks on PulseChain, by the way. It's like 5 minutes long. That's an epic video I've not seen for a long time. Somebody made that right before, maybe I feel like it was like a couple months before launch. It's like just two weeks later. It's almost done. It's pretty funny. But for Hex, yeah, I think it was. I agree. It was like I want to say a year or so, because I remember CFT token, and then Bitcoin Hex, and then like the 500 streams after that talking about game theory. Oh, this changes that, and then getting all of that, and then getting Hex.com. I think it was. I feel like Hex.com was before launch. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then December 2nd. Coming up on 6 years, baby. 6 years.
Woo!
Hex.com.
Crazy.
Hex.com. Another piece I want to bring up that a lot of people bearish on the ecosystem that I think we're all, honestly, I think there's a big chance all this stuff will be forgotten about. Like in this tweet, I could totally see in the future everyone forgets about the time Richard couldn't stream for a couple of years because the SEC was going after crypto and he had to in order to win the case. I think if we hit glory, Richard comes back or doesn't, I think he will, but regardless of what happens, if we're doing well, nobody's going to, especially new people, again, nobody cares what SAC price is. If you never heard the ecosystem, you just come in and buy coins.
I don't know if it was you or someone else, but it was probably you that had said that. And I was just like, yeah, no, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And again,
no idea about the history, about where it's been, they just want to know where it's going.
Yeah. And that's not to take away from all the, suckiness has happened from having to wait so long, from people who did SAC. I'm with you. I hear you, but it's like, that does not help onboarding new people. They don't care about it. And they just want to come and win. So let's show them how to win.
Accurate.
So yeah, I just think it feels like this is like a big deal right now. And it's a big deal that he won. And for so many different reasons. But in the future, I think it will be like, oh yeah. Oh, you weren't here when the SEC was going after Richard. I think that'll be more of the future conversation. And maybe it'll be 10,000 green candles to make everyone not focus on, oh, remember in the past when this thing happened that sucked? How about the future? Let's go with the future. Future good. Let's do that.
Indeed.
The
fact that we made it through so much sucky stuff and we're still here is a huge testament to the chain. The fact that there's like so many influencers that stuck through everything, and there's a bunch that like kind of disappeared for a while and are starting to come back, right? Is big. And then like influencers are just a tiny drop in the pool. The actual users and holders are much bigger than the influencers. So like the people who held from like top to bottom on all these core coins, like they're going to be the champions.
The silent majority.
Indeed.
I know a lot of my onboards. I've never even seen them on Twitter. They're not in any of the YouTube chat boxes. I see like one of my onboards like inside the chat box. He's actually in this room right now. Shout out to Yellowtail. But other than him, I don't really see a lot of my onboards online about talking about PulseChain or nothing.
Yep. Some of the biggest whales I know are super quiet, right? Like they have Twitter profiles, maybe some of you know them, but like they're not shouting on rooftops like we are.
Yeah, having traveled the world now, meeting people in real life, I can tell you there's a whole lot of them that are not on social media, a whole lot, and that's like just like scratching the surface, that's just people that I know or have met or have heard of, right? Like there's a ton of people that are holding, and many of them may have forgot about it even, right? Like there's like your friend's friend, or like some people in your family are like not gonna talk about it until they hear the news or they hear something else about crypto that reminds them, oh hey, I did that one thing and bought some Hex once upon a time. I wonder what's going on with that.
Yep.
What's the Hex doing? What's the Richard Hart doing these days? That's what they'd be asking.
What's going on over there?
Is Hex still around?
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
I want to show the launch video in a second too, but the different phase, I always think this is interesting. Do you think this is, first of all, is this like, I know it's been around for a while. Logically, I mean, it seems to, historically speaking, makes a lot of sense too. Are we at the point where Ethereum's going up? That's a big question everyone's asking for. And this kind of flow from Ethereum. And like, I guess maybe the question is, where does PulseChain fit into this too? Does it fit into phase 2, phase 3, phase 4? What do you think on that? If you think it's interesting enough.
First, I have to make the screen bigger because my old eyes can't see that.
No, I'm able to zoom in too. No, not really. That's all I got.
It's okay.
Put my glasses on.
What is this phase chart from?
This is a flow of money. They're basically saying, so basically Bitcoin price go up, and then people take that, buy Ethereum, and then once Ethereum runs, they go into large caps, maybe top 50 cryptos and stuff like that. And then phase 4 is like, everything else, or risk on, like all that stuff. That's like the gist I get from it.
I get it. So it's kind of like the trickle down economy of crypto. I've always had kind of an issue with that. I just really didn't. I just didn't find it very plausible that people were like, all right, Bitcoin went up and now they're selling their Bitcoin, because these people love Bitcoin. So it's hard for me to think that they're just going to sell their Bitcoin and go into something like really cheap. Even though that is probably the smart move to do. Like if I was in Bitcoin right now, I would be selling it for Ethereum, or I would have been buying Ethereum at 1,500, because the chances of Ethereum going to 3,000 are much higher than the chances of Bitcoin going to 200,000. But I mean, apparently it does though. I mean, I guess there are a lot of traders. If
chances of Pulse going to 1 penny are a lot higher than the chances of ETH going to $100,000.
Yeah. And
the Pulse coin. Yeah, I know a lot of people like this chart, or at least, it's definitely a hopeful chart of like, oh, wow. And then the money's going to go there. And then to us, it kind of means something a little different too, because Ethereum, there are large whales who like PulseChain who have Ethereum. So we tend to pay more attention to Ethereum than we normally would. But it's, I don't know, could be fun.
We're definitely phase 1 right now, as per your chart though, right? Like, money's starting to flow into Ethereum from Bitcoin, but it's not there yet.
I think, if you think Ethereum's popping off, I think we're in phase 2, wouldn't it?
Can you say Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin though? Like just like in the last 3-4 days.
Okay, maybe the idea would be we're on the tail end of phase 1, and phase 2 is what people are hoping happens, I guess.
Phase 1.75.
And I think Ethereum can be a phase 1 coin now, just because I just think it's just a lot more acceptable, and that people are just gonna Ethereum really is a better coin than Bitcoin, just because of the smart contracts alone. You could do just so much more with it. I really think Ethereum should flip Bitcoin eventually. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon, but to me, it feels like Ethereum could be a phase 1 coin.
Interesting piece here before we move on as well. If no CEX, centralized exchange, after the first week of RH is removed from red notice and start streaming, we can definitely say it's RH curse. So you're all
the first week. You give it a couple days.
That sounds like an expectation.
Hope Aria. I've heard that name before. I think I blocked Hope a very long time ago for being a negative Nancy. They were always just talking crap on Hex and stuff. So I wouldn't take this person's opinion with a lot of salt.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I like to look at the comments too and just be like, again, take the ones that may be however their intention and be like, what would that look like, as far as, because I just posted video Interpol stuff. I was just going back and forth with GPT and being like, yeah, this looks totally easy to dismiss in all these ways, for the tax stuff, not owing anything, and also for the even jurisdiction or whatever from Finland and all that. So the first, whether or not he starts streaming after that happens, or he streams beforehand, or he makes some more videos in between, I don't think there's anything that's cursing this ecosystem that has anything to do with RH. I think he's setting things up to the best of his ability for it to thrive. And as he affectionately used the word sell pressure, hey, sell pressure, the other day, the community, hopefully that was a reminder to be like, are we doing enough? Like, are we playing the part that is welcome to onboarding, or are we just showing our grievances all the time? Are we here to win? Or are we here to get handouts? And anyways, that's just I don't think RH is cursing anything. I feel blessed to have him making videos these days.
That being said, like when he does start doing live streams again, like we've already seen him now do pre-recorded streams. The most recent one was face on the screen, which is actually a huge thing. Like when he does start doing live streams, I do think, if not before then, we will get a large amount of sudden adoption that could lead to centralized exchange listings very quickly. Though that could certainly happen well before. I expect him to live stream in June. When June or July, after the SEC can no longer appeal the case. And yeah, I would not be surprised if we got picked up by like Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance shortly thereafter, if not before.
I think we'll be cracking on Kraken. Let's get cracking on Kraken.
It'd be a good move for Kraken because, man, like if you want supporters, the PulseChain and Hex peeps are awesome supporters. We're terrible enemies. You don't want that. But
do not delist.
Work great. Yeah.
Do not delist from what I've seen.
For example, revenue ratings. Yeah.
I was going to say, I heard something. I saw Stoic from 0x Coast was on Jim Rat's show this morning. And cool. he was talking about how his conspiracy, his contrarian theory on why the delisting happened, or the removal, whatever, was because they didn't take PulseChain seriously. And then, so this, like, you think after SEC, not approval, but SEC, whatever, defeat. Let's just say defeat. I forget the other word that would be interesting there. But yeah, defeat. Yeah, but like remember how they're like, oh, these assets have been shown to be, God, I want to say approved every time. It's unapproved, shown to not be securities, whatever that was. Okay, you guys know what I mean. So having that is kind of the reverse. You'd think, oh, people want to list after that. But his conspiracy on that, from what I understand this morning, was that they now see PulseChain as a threat. And that they're like, no, we don't want Richard to win that hard. So we're gonna not support him now because we can't believe they actually won the case. Well, kind of like that kind of train of thinking. So
it only takes one, right? Like if they all hold that line together and hold hands, that's fine. But the first one to step out of line is going to be the one to profit the most from it. And like, they're not friends, right? Like Kraken is not friends with Coinbase, is not friends with Binance. Like one of them is going to step up and that one is going to win the hardest. And then the other ones are going to jump on the train.
Yeah.
If there would be something to that, yeah, I think again that's the contrarian theory, but that would be interesting if it was like, oh well, they actually won. Like, no, we can't let Richard and his ecosystem win, and they were. So, I mean, it's not that I don't know. It doesn't seem that far fetched because of all the gatekeeping we've been through already.
I had the same thoughts that when Richard started Bitcoin Hex, that they knew. Like, I think there were some people because Richard was part of like Bitcoin. He was like really in with a lot of the higher ups in there. He was at that the big block debate, and he was like really integrated with a lot of these people. And in my opinion, I think some of these people knew how much like money Richard had, and I think they got worried when he started launching his own coin. Because, I mean, even when Ethereum got launched, a lot of the Bitcoin guys are just freaking out. They're just saying, like, Ethereum's a scam. It's there to take all your Bitcoin. And then Richard's launching his own thing. And I think these guys just kind of got worried. And then they just tried to blackball Richard.
Yep. And they're failing, right? Like, they don't have community like we have community. I think Richard's alluded to this in the past, and recently he's alluded to it, I think in regards to like actually just listing data. But like, if they don't step up and do it, he might just do it himself. There could be a RH centralized exchange. That it's not impossible. He's big enough to do it.
An oxymoron, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, so that's one piece that I think that, you just reminded me of the video. That is the only thing I couldn't quite understand what he was talking about there. When he's like, if they don't do it, we got to, we might have to do it or something. Can you elaborate on that fast? Like, kind of explain? Because that's the one thing I was like, I don't understand what he's talking about when he said that. I think
that's what I took from it. Like it could be just the proper listing. So making a listing site like for cryptocurrencies in general, where they'll actually listed hex properly. But like the next logical step is just to make a centralized exchange, which would have like a focus for onboarding to PulseChain and to hex. But like and centralized exchanges have benefits. Like it's easier onboarding, less technical knowledge required. But like to have like an RH run centralized exchange that maintains as many of the merits of his philosophy as possible, including like urging users, hey, you should send your funds to a private wallet, right? Maybe even some sort of hybrid where it's centralized, but it involves a private wallet somehow. I haven't thought about it too much, but I would think that he probably has. And if he does something like that, and it gets pushed forward, and like think of the amount of ETH he holds alone, right? Like it would be enough that people would notice. People in general would notice that, like, okay, there's a large new centralized exchange offering like all these great services that's really easy to use, has great APRs. And one of the features would be, of course, that you could bridge directly very easily to the PulseChain, that perhaps you could stake hex via that front end, and obviously that would involve having wallets and stuff like that. But like, man, it could be a great marketing play. And we've seen things recently, like with Pump.Tires, like he's changed his worldview on some things for the betterment of the community and the chain. I could see him doing that in regards to centralized exchanges as well. I still don't like centralized exchanges, but if I were to trust one, it would be the one run by Richard Hart.
Yep.
He's a good guy. I like that guy.
Yeah. Richard once, Richard said he hates NFTs. He just thinks it's like monkey on a JPEG. It's a pretty dumb way to spend your money.
Some guy decides you don't get to look at your picture. Boop. Yeah.
But Richard also said, like, hey, if you people want to freaking buy these NFTs, I don't know why you would, but if you really, really want to buy them, he's like, I think I could do a better NFT. And so he never launches NFT, but I think it's probably a potential on the horizon. And I think that's also why he did the pump tires, because he's like, hey, man, if you guys really want meme coins, I don't know, why you guys like. It's kind of like a rug pulling from each other all the time. He's like, I'm going to build something better for you guys, and this is actually going to help PLS. Now, I don't know if he actually built pump tires or if he's just promoting something that someone else built, but I think that's why he is actually promoting it.
Everybody get ready for pump.pictures. Pump.pics.
Pump.NFTs.
Gotta pump it. Yeah, actually, I swear, I remember, and I tried to find this clip. I could have swore he talked about doing an NFT platform a couple years ago, or 1.5 years ago, on one of those videos. I thought I clipped it, and every time I search for it, I can't find it. But
he talked about making an NFT for his diamond.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was separate though. This was, I'm pretty sure okay. Don't quote me on it, but I thought I remembered him saying something about doing an NFT platform, like making a product around it. And I was like, whoa, he just said that. And I don't think anyone really paid attention to it. And then I swear, I thought I clipped it. I clipped so many things, but I cannot find it. But if I have to go, I have to share it. But so don't quote me on it. Maybe I just misremember.
Maybe he gave that up after Mentra launched.
I don't know. I was listening to the Twitter Spaces yesterday, and I remember him saying, "I don't care if anyone builds on PulseChain. We don't." But again, he said a lot of things like that, and now again, Pump.Tires is here, and he's if they're not behind it, he's definitely promoting a lot on there as well. But I think that there are no projects that are. I've said this before, like wallet. There's already PulseChain. Native wallets are great community wallets. Margin plating platforms, we've got those. All these things he's talked about, and it's either we already had launch your own token stuff as well. It's different, built by the community. We already had that stuff, and then he launched it. Or he is. I don't say he launched. He likes the stuff that's coming out for that too. So I don't think there's any community project that if he's going to not build, that he couldn't. It's not going to build if he has an idea to build it. Because if he thinks it's going to be better in some way, I just don't think he's at that level. It's not that he doesn't appreciate the community building, but I just think that his plans are for building whatever he likes to. So it's not personal. It's just like the guy makes the big decisions, he makes the calls, and he likes to build stuff. And so we'll see. Before we wrap up, real quick, no one's seen this, pretty sure. However, I did tweet it out earlier, and feel free to go peruse. I did not make this, by the way. I shout out to whoever did. I can't remember. I remember who. I don't see a name on here or anything to shout out either. But somebody came up with an amazing list of all his videos, the links, the guests, the thumbnail creator, which I didn't even. That's very meta information right there. All the I get a few shorts in here as well. Scivive stuff, Scivive related ones. He's also got other people, which is really a game changer. Other people's channels. So hard. I feel like I every once in a while I'll come across a new stream I've never seen that Richards did, or a podcast, some of them video or audio only and all that stuff too, different platforms, maybe Spotify and other stuff I've seen. And he's been on other people's shows, and a lot of people have never seen these because they're older. They weren't promoted a lot then. They were before Hex got super popular, all that stuff. Look at all these on other people's channels that if you only look at Richard Hart's channel, you're just not going to see them. And some of the really early stuff on Max Kaiser's show and stuff too.
It always blew my mind when he got on like Kitco News and like Fox News.
Yeah. Shout out to David Lynn, Kitco, formerly Kitco News. I think he's got his own channel now, but hopefully you'll interview Richard again. Be like a 60-minute sit-down interview. That'd be pretty cool. And that girl from that one super good one. It was like the British one. She did a really good job too. Yeah, that one. I forgot which one it was, but that was a really good one too. And Twitter Spaces. It's got the Twitter links and YouTube links if they were uploaded. So a huge source of information. Binge all the Richard you want. I'll put the link in the chat. It's also on my X Twitter as well. So really, really fun stuff. But we got to wrap up here. I'm going to add to the screen. SJ got to it first. Whenever she's ready, give me a ready word when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And we get to see Sloth. You're just in time. You get to see yourself 2 years ago on screen, being very happy. SJ's cry for joy is amazing in this.
I Kermit for joy.
She interrupted everyone and had to tell us that a launch thing was happening. And it was a great moment. I really, really glad we were streaming at the time to capture it. So without further ado, hit it, SJ.
Okay, let me just make sure.
Gives me the ability to vote. I'm not sure if I'll use that very often on tokens, but I can place it to accumulate, stake it, or whatever we're using for lingo these days to earn third-party tokens.
Y'all, Richard just tweeted the PulseX mainnet is now live. The PulseChain.com mainnet is now live. He just
right now.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh my God.
Find it.
Wait.
Go so fast. Go as fast as I can.
Where?
In the making.
Where? Hold on.
Yo.
It's your joy. Everyone's just amazed. X mainnet is now live.
And Max, look at you, live streaming V3 and mainnet.
So let's call it.
Some kind of Oracle over here, man.
Wait.
I don't.
Where is it?
I was like, are you kidding me? You're
So
really
on
trolling.
graphics still doesn't believe it. He's like, where is it? It says PulseX.com mainnet is live though. That's
The one
There's a
below
Twitter.
that. Right before that.
okay. I was like, whoa, what happened? Time's a charm.
Wait.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I don't believe it. This is
This is unscripted.
I don't believe it.
Amazing.
It's fake. It's not real.
Ben's fudding up there, fudding the
Where's
boost.
the-
I'm shaking.
Nah.
I'm shaking right
I think
now.
everyone's just so happy they just can't believe it.
Oh my
I'm starting to
god.
shake a little bit myself.
Oh my
There's no
God.
links though. There's no links that are working yet that I can find.
Oh, and also I should go to is PLS.live. Okay. And that would check the mainnet scan. Mainnet scan.
Retep did say that we
Explore.
can't really trust that site though, low key. He kind of said that.
Okay.
And it
Well, at least.
was like,
Okay.
he was like, that's
I don't
not from the
test-
PulseChain team, so it's hard to know if it's going to be
If
completely
you go
accurate.
to the PulseChain site, it says it's live, and you have the RPC settings.
Yeah, I can't do MetaMask right now. Can somebody put it in MetaMask and see if it's working?
So honestly,
Yeah,
what I'm going to be doing is loading this stuff in MetaMask and then going on the PulseX site to get the token addresses or contract addresses for everything I sacked for and just verify that everything's in my wallet. And then I'm waiting until the bridge opens to do anything else. This is amazing.
Holy we're actually live.
Bro,
I got goosebumps and I'm sweating. Whoa.
This
Wow,
is surreal.
wow.
Guys, I'm gonna have to go change.
I'm good.
Wow. Wow, JS. This is an amazing time to meet you. I can't believe I got to share this with everybody.
Oh, wow.
Crypto
This person got that too.
oh my god.
Oh,
Crypto
you guys.
TFX. Oh, look into Hedron.
Crypto GFX.
What? You guys.
Bro. Crazy.
I'm glad I got to share this with you.
That's what euphoria feels like.
Lucky
Let's do it again. Let's do it a few more times. I did D3 and it went live, and now the mainnet is live. Yes. Yes.
SJ,
Beautiful.
Everyone was
That
so
was
young.
amazing.
so young and unaware.
I see a lot less wrinkles in that video.
So fun.
Good
He
stuff.
couldn't handle it either. He couldn't handle it. It was
Could
like
come
my Mac
at
just started. Yeah.
anytime.
Started go nuts. Gotta pump it up. Gotta pump it up. We gotta pump it up. Gotta pump it up. Come on, let's gotta pump it up. Gotta pump it up. Let's get the green candles in the sky. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I want it. Let's do it again. I'm excited. That video gets me pumped up too. It's pretty cool. All right, everyone. We gotta wrap it up though. Fast Abdul, Wild SJ, Brizology. Oh, it's a pleasure. Great show. Everyone else out there, hope you're doing well. I'll let Fast start first. What do you want to take us off with? Go down to SJ and Briz, and we will get out of here and let you all have a great rest of your week.
Well, I'm going to say we're just getting started here, kids. Now is the time that if you're looking at PulseChain, the facts are here, right? Like, you know, we're coming out of the depression. We have ETH going up. We have the ratio changing to Bitcoin, and we have Richard Hart's hands being unbound by the SEC. As soon as that guy starts streaming, I think it's going to be happy moon time. Not financial advice, just my own opinion.
Boom.
I would like to say we
Going
are
out of
still
order.
early. We are still super early. Early isn't defined by amount of time, but about the amount of adoption. So, you know, so far we're at literally we're at zero adoption right now. You know, we don't even have like one whole state from the United States onboarded yet. Just wait until we have like the first million and first like 5 million people onboarded, and then it's gonna start snowballing from there. The only other thing I want to say is just beware of cancerous L2s, and I hope everybody has a great Monday.
I would like to start off by saying that I am just so happy to be here. I have no regrets. The last 4 years of my life have been totally awesome, and I've made a lot of amazing friends, and I am just stoked. I'm so excited to see a bull run for the first time in my life, and being here in this ecosystem, I can't think of a better way to enjoy it. So let's fucking go. And then quick little plug at 6:30 Pacific time, so like 4-ish hours or whatever. Canadian Grateful and I are going to be hosting a PulseChain trivia. Everyone's invited. Anyone can play. All you need is a cell phone, and they're not just PulseChain questions. It's everything from like geography to sports to pop culture. So come join us. There's $2,500 in crypto to be given away. It's just something fun we started doing to just lift up morale, and I think it's going to continue. So come join us. It'll be hosted on Discourse Syndicate as well as my channel. And yeah, happy birthday, PulseChain. We have so much to look forward to. Go team.
2 years down, maybe two to 22 more to go. However, in the meantime, hopefully get some green candles. Hopefully next week, you know, let's get some more. Actually, we already went up like 60-70%. Let's bump those numbers up. How about 600%? How about 6,000%? How about keep adding zeros? You're gonna get tired of adding zeros. That's what I want to see. Let's do it. All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are pumped.